Lord Ramachandra, who is noticed with the worship by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and consumed the form of living flame. Thus he performed the funeral ceremony of Jatai, who was killed by Ramayana. The Lord then killed a demon named Lavanda, and after being friends with the monkey chief, killed a Pali and arranging for the deliverance of Mother Sita in the beach ocean. When Ravana and Sita had was constructed and believed at that time, a large weapon for the powerful Ravana defeated Jagai in fight and battles. When Ramachandra was such a Sita, he found Jagai were dead and formed Sita and carried away by Ravana. Jagai died for Ramachandra and the duty of the sun, but performing the funeral ceremony and then remained friends with the monk. Sita. Yadroshavikramakatakshapada Samkramakaromaya Sindhu Arana Parivrikyayupi Padanatampukamya Padashadeva. After reaching the beach, Lord Ramachandra fasted for 3 days, with the arrival of the ocean was sunlight. When the ocean did not come, the Lord exhibited his pastime and the plants to the ocean. All the living for the legend, including the crocodiles and sharks, catch the beer. Then the personified ocean clearly approached Lord Ramachandra, taking on the ocean. Falling at the Lord's lotus feet, the personified ocean spoke. That's all. Chakshurun Pilitam Yena Tasmai Chaitanya Vishwan Sapakale Svayapurupakadahyam Dalati Swadhamikam Vande Shri Guru Shri Guru Shri Guru Vaishnavamsa Shri Guru Sagrata Sakadakadamsa Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Parijanasayitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakadakadamsa Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswate Devi Paschatya Deshata Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We are reading the pastimes of Ramachandra to put us in the framework of accepting the Supreme Lord's instructions, Ramachandra's instructions. Here we read about Jatayu and how the Lord performed the duty of a son for Jatayu. Why would he do that? Who is Jatayu? In the forest, when Sita is abducted by Ravana and he is taking her in a beautiful chariot, it's all mystical because the chariot flies and the chariot has got mules. You know what's a mule? Mule is something in between a donkey and a horse. All right? I heard that a mule is like born to a horse from a donkey or something. Anyway, a mule. And he is having cheated Lakshmana and Rama, come in the dress of a great saint, is abducting, taking Sita and running away. So Sita is shouting, yelling, screaming, and trying her best to run away. At that time, Jatayu sitting on the tree, very, very huge bird, vulture, very old also. Very slowly raise his eyes and so what is this noise about? Previously, when Sita, Ram, Lakshman were walking in the forest, they met with Jatayu. And Jatayu said, I'm a friend of your father. We are all friends. Because Ramachandra asked, who are you? And so huge bird. He said, you don't know me? I know you. I know your father also. I know everything about you. So this way they got familiar with Jatayu. So now, when Sita was crying, she saw Jatayu. And she said, do something. Please tell Rama. Please tell this thing, this evil, Asura is taking me away. This Lanka king is taking me away. And he has done this. So Jatayu immediately woke up. He was actually very old. Not very. But then even though he was old, he made an attempt to attack Ravana. He attacked Ravana and put all his energy inside. He started clawing the flesh from his backside, put his hand and pulled out flesh. And he beat him with his wings. And he smashed his crown. The crown fell down. And he finished his whole chariot. All the mules were dead. And the chariot was broken into 1,000 pieces. So powerful was Jatayu, even though he was very old. And he smashed it and it went, and he did not have a vehicle. And he fell down. Who? Ravana fell down from the chariot. So powerful. And then Ravana fought. He took out his sword. He shot arrows at Jatayu. Jatayu got arrows. And still he was fighting. And then Ravana took out his sword and cut off its wings. Cut off its feet, talons and everything. And so it fell down from there. Boom.
and he was almost like going to die. That time Sita ran to Jatayu, praised Jatayu, and he said, "You gave up your life for me, for protecting me. You are like my father." And she cried, and Jatayu was like almost finishing. And then trying to help the please, somebody save me. Very desperate. Nobody there. And Ravana just caught hold of him. And then by his own mystic power, he rose into the sky, speeding across. And he went to Lanka. And she was screaming. So this scene, the Jatayu is described in the Ramayana and condensing it. And so this was Jatayu did. And then later, Rama and Lakshmana, they came and they found that Sita has been affected, they have been cheated, and the Maricha here was another illusion. And Rama was very, very disappointed. Because Sita was separate. So in that situation, they were looking into the forest. Maybe she's somewhere, maybe she's. They don't know that Ravana. So at that time, they came upon Jatayu. Because there's Rama from there's been some big fight here. Chariot pieces. Really. And they immediately came. And Jatayu asked, he said, "This is what it is." Became very indebted to Jatayu. Because Jatayu fought and gave up his life. He tried his best. There was such a strong resistance. But he may not have been successful. But he pleased Ramachandra very much. He did his best and he offered himself. And Ramachandra became very, very moved. And Jatayu passed away, giving some instructions. And Lord Ramachandra personally performed the funeral rites. He took the position of the son. Son is supposed to be Jatayu is my father's equal. He's like my father. And therefore he did the funeral rites for Jatayu. So that is described here. In devotional service, many times we work very hard. Sometimes we even work so hard that we go for a life. And we may not have achieved what we want to achieve. We did our best. We offered our best. Like Jatayu, he offered himself. But it is not about success or failure. It is about pleasing. It's not about what you're doing coming to successful end. It's about pleasing. Repeat. Do please Krishna. Many things we may try to do, we may not be fully successful, we may not be able to complete it, we may not be. But we sincerely tried without any false ego, under the instruction of higher authorities. We are trying. And it may not have been completed. But we have pleased Krishna because we have carried out the order of Guru, carried out the order of the Acharya, carried out the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, etc. That's one thing you can learn from here. Jatayu got a very glorious final end because he served Ramachandra to the best of the extent. He knew this is wrong, that this Lanka king Ravana is doing something wrong and I have to step in and do something. Although I am very old. Jatayu could very well have said, no, that's not for me, I can't do anything about it. I am too old to do anything. This devotional service again. Why? I'm very old. No, but there's nobody around to do it. Nobody else can do it. There's no young person around. But that's okay, but I'm too old to do it. But it is Sita, the wife of Rama, the Supreme Lord's consort. You have a chance to do some seva. No, but I'm old. I should not do. This could be a good attitude, no? Isn't it the attitude that we should normally have? What can I do? I'm old. I cannot do. So, this is what is called Jatayu's old age. Jatayu's old age is not really old age. He got up and fought. He got up and fought, risking his life. If he had been a little more younger, I'm sure he would have finished Ravana. And Ravana has a history of repeatedly getting attacked by all these big birds. Even Jatayu's brother Sampati attacked Ravana because he is regularly bringing ladies from here and there. His hobby is collecting beautiful ladies. So he does a lot of these trips here and there. And he's collecting lady from here. They're very good looking. Come on, come with me. And he's flying in the sky and bringing on the chariot many ladies. And several times he has been attacked by these huge birds. There are 3-4 instances described in the Ramayana where he was attacked. And in fact, with one of them, he said that, see, I don't want to fight you, no. Simply, you guys are very strong. These birds are very strong. They're very huge. And with one slap of the wing, the whole chariot broke. Jatayu. And although he's very old. So I see one of these birds, there's a conversation, he says that I'll fight you, you'll fight me, and both of us are equally good. Better you let me go. And I let you go. There was some quid pro quo arrangement many times because Ravana was afraid of these birds. That they can do something, some damage they can do. Because Jatayu clawed his backside and took away bits of flesh from his back. They have very huge talons and they can do that. These are not ordinary birds. These are not chota birds of this material world we see. So these are huge creatures. So Jatayu did that. He didn't think that I am old and I don't have to do this devotion service. He knew it is ordained by the Lord. There's nobody else here. It's only me. And it's coming in front of me, this opportunity. I must do. I must do. If I don't do, it's very bad. It's very bad if I don't do. So I gave an opportunity for devotional service. The mind is always providing so many excuses. Devotional service doesn't depend on anything material or any material situation. So even though Jatayu was old, he attempted to fight Ravana and save Sita. Same way, we cannot stop from performing any devotional service that is put in front of us by Krishna, thinking that because of so and so material requirement which I don't have, I cannot do it. I must try to do something about it. When that devotee, that disciple, was asked to read Bhagavad Gita, and in front of Sri Rangam, you will see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met that person. And in front of this, the deity, the person, he is illiterate, he cannot read, but his guru told him, you must read Bhagavad Gita. So he did not immediately think, I don't know how to read, so that's not going to happen. I don't have to buy the Gita also. He said, no, whatever I can do towards me reading, to what extent can I go, that much I must do. So he bought the Gita. He came in front of the temple and sat down to read it. Why? Although I don't know how to read, I must make an attempt to read. Why? It's my Guru's instruction. It's not me to decide and think that I cannot read. I don't know how to read. So let's not buy the Gita. In fact, let's not go to the temple at all to buy the Gita. And this way I can avoid going to the temple. So why? I cannot read. I'm not literate. I'm not literate. That seems to be the major decision. But this person sincerely said, I've been asked to read the Gita. First, I must go buy Gita. Later, we will think about whether I know to read or not. The things that I can do towards executing this service, let me do. All the doables, let me do. First is I go to the shop, I go to the temple, I buy the Gita. I appreciate how nice it looks. So wonderful. I wish I had known to read it. How nice it would have been. Anyway, I'm supposed to try to read it. So he went, sat down in front of the temple, opened the book, and started reading something which he does not know how to read. Then he saw the picture of Krishna and Arjuna. Then he started crying. Whew. Krishna became the charioteer of Arjuna, the supreme personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. He has become the chariot. Look at his hand, he's holding whips. In another hand, he has got the reins. Why has he taken this position? How wonderful is my Lord? He started looking at the picture and admiring, and he started crying. That is how he started understanding the Gita. It was not constrained by the fact that I don't know how to read. Your material situation will not obstruct devotional service. Even though he does not know how to read and write, he understood the Gita. Why? He made an attempt to do those things that I can do. It's not impossible. Why? Your Guru has told you must read. He knows very well you don't know how to read. You must read the Gita. Why did he give instruction like this to me? You don't know? I'm not educated. What Guru you are? He didn't think like that. He thought this instruction is coming down the line from Krishna. I must execute it to some extent. Whatever I can do out of that instruction, I must do. He went and did it. Same way, there are impossible things that come in front of us. We must try to do what we can do. That's what Prabhupada did. Prabhupada said, I just endeavored in that direction. Because my Guru told me to go to the Western world and preach. So I did something in that direction. Although I was 70 years old, I got a ticket at least in a ship. I'm not having flight ticket. Nobody will give me. I'm an old insignificant man somewhere. A sannyasi. Nobody cares. So at least I must do something. So he went and tried. He told, Sumati Morarji, I have to go. She said, oh, you're an old man. You'll die in my ship on the way. Very bad for me. I don't want to send you on my ship. He convinced her, you must. But you'll go there. No, I must attempt. You're already 70 years old. No, I must attempt. He got it. And he went there. And he put $7 in his pocket. And he went there. Something I must do. I must attempt. That's what Prabhupada did. He was not thinking, I'm going to, I'm founder Acharya, I'm going to do this. He didn't know anything. I don't know where you're taking me, my Lord. This place is full of Tamogun, Rajogun. Maybe you have some plan. I'm completely surrendered to you. I'm a puppet in your hands. This is how he went. He didn't undermine judging it materially and saying it will not happen. And before you allow Krishna to make it happen itself, your material decision and your lack of faith will spoil even Krishna doing it. So Krishna can never work through such people. A completely negative and very materialistic and make a material estimate of everything spiritual. It's very difficult to work through. But Prabhupada was so transparent. Let me try. Let me see. Krishna's blessing, something will happen. Like that he went. And it happened, he said. It's all Krishna's blessing. He very clearly said that. He didn't after that take credit. See, I went to America. I knew, I planned. Look at the book I've written. I knew he didn't take credit for it. He really said what happened is, I simply tried, long shot in the dark. It worked out. It is Krishna's blessing. You don't know how it worked out. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai. This way, Jatayu, he didn't think I am very old, I am going to die. What can I do? Ramachandra, if you wanted me to do this service, you should have given me some power. You should have made me young. You could have at least given me 2 instruments in my hands. At least you could have reinforced my wings. If you want, you can do anything. No, you did not do. So I am also not doing. It's a very dangerous way of thinking. It sounds very good, logically very perfect. This is what is called comfort zone in spiritual life. Comfort zone in spiritual life is different from material life. You just rationalize inside your head. You don't know what's going on inside your head. Your mind is cheating you. Your intelligence is cheating you. And you just settle down. You lose the chance. This lesson we can learn from Jatayu. Jatayu, or that devotee in front of Srirangam reading Bhagavad Gita, they didn't succumb to that. Neither did Prabhupada succumb to that. He said everything is happening by Krishna's mercy. And let us see what will happen because it's my Guru Maharaj's direction. There must be some way of doing it. I will just become an instrument. Nimittamatram bhavasavya sachin. This is the way devotional service is done. Jatayu is a wonderful example of that. You see later when all the monkeys will go right up Angada's troop that goes down to south along with Hanuman. They'll become frustrated. They'll go right down to the tip and the bank of the ocean. They'll say, no clue, where is Sita? We are here. We have come all the way to the southern tip. Until now, we have not found Sita. Better we sit here and fast to death. Because if you go back, Sugriva will finish you without finding Sita. Better die here only than go and get killed by Sugriva. So they all decided to fast. As monkeys. Simple. They want to serve the Lord. They were so pure in their service. So they all said, we will this thing. And then they were discussing what all happened. It's all because of that Ravana. That fellow, somewhere he is taking Sita, we don't know where it is. And then they discussed and then they spoke about Jatayu. How Jatayu fought. How valiantly he fought. He gave up his life for protecting Sita, but he couldn't do it because this rascal Ravana, he cut off his wings, cut off his wings, somehow managed to escape. Jatayu is great. As soon as we were discussing, there's a huge screeching sound, deafening like a huge thunderbolt. They wonder what happened. And there on the top of the cliff was a huge bird, another bird, like Jatayu, very old. It was resting its whole neck and this thing on another portion of the rock. Can't stand by itself. And that thing was screaming. And it was crying. Tears were coming. And all the tears were flying in the breeze and falling on all the monkeys. I said, what is happening? It's raining. And Hanuman went up and said, oh, this looks like something else. Either this bird is crying and we have done something to it, but it looks very similar to Jatayu. Something must be there. So he climbed up. He went right up to the top, very dangerous bird, huge, sitting on top of the mountain. He went there and then he went near and then saw that it's crying. And Hanuman asked, who are you? Are you crying? What happened? And so I heard all of you. I'm listening to all of you. Very sharp ears. On the beach, you're all discussing and you're deciding to fast to death and all that. And then you spoke about Jatayu. I did not know the Jatayu has passed away. You said that you fought valiantly and he was killed by Ravana. He's my brother. I'm his brother. I'm Sampati. And he loudly started crying. I remember my younger days, me and Jatayu were very good friends. We were flying in the sky and we were doing this. He started telling things. And he said, please help me. I have to go and do my last rites for my brother. So Hanuman called all the monkeys, come here. And they carried him, went up to the beach, and he did his last rites in the waters of the sea. Then they said, tell us more about this. He told them a lot of stories of how this happened, what some Jatayu did, and this and that and everything. As he was telling about Ramchandra, about this and everything, all of a sudden he was becoming younger and younger. He sprouted his wings suddenly. His feet all came back. And then he just zoom, he flew off. And all these monkeys could not stand it. Because when he flapped his wings, all the dust came up as a huge dust storm. On the beach, all the sand. He became so huge, and in a moment, he became a small speck in the sky. Imagine how it would have been the scene. This is a very huge bird. Very huge bird. So then he descended again. They thought, wow, what a wonderful bird. And he told us some wonderful stories. And then he swooped down again and landed again. And they had to close their eyes and landed again and said, I found Sita. Because you want to know Sita. That's why I was told that when I will remember the pastimes of the Lord and then I will say the pastimes of the Lord and I will know about this, I'll regain my composure and my original strength. And therefore, I know that this will happen. And I went on top and I saw Sita. She is in the Ashokavana. Wow, these monkeys are too innocent. They don't know. You know, it's 800 yojanas, by the way. I'm sorry, 100 yojanas, 800 miles. And you, this old bird that you wear, how can I believe that you saw it from here? Then he explained, you know, I'm not an ordinary bird. I'm not just an ordinary bird. I have capacity to see. I can see from here. I just went up to see exactly from there. From here, I'm not able to see. So I went on top and I saw, because you people want to know where Sita is. Ramachandra is waiting for you. And my brother has given his life hunting for Sita, fighting for Sita. So I found it my duty to carry on what my brother did and bring it to fruition for Lord Ramachandra to be pleased. And I went and I saw, I can see very clearly, she's in Ashokavana. She's in that island in Lanka. You can go, for sure you'll get. And he left. And the monkeys were wondering, wow, is this true? And hit them, yes, it is true. We know now where is Sita. They immediately started jumping and dancing. We found Sita. And they started jumping and dancing. And this is how, out of them, Hanuman was traced out, and then Hanuman leaped across and went and met Sita. So this is Jatayu's brother Sampati in memory of Jatayu doing service. Look at this. Look at the service attitude of all. There is nothing that stops them from doing seva. And they're so attracted to serving the Supreme Lord. Very attracted. Get a small chance to do, I'll do. You are wanting to know where Sita is? I can do that. I can go into the sky and I can see. I'm seeing very clearly. It's been held. There's a big palace. There's a big, like everything he came and told. Report. It's like a satellite scan, like Google Map. It is all incorporated. You don't need a separate software. You don't need, where is my phone? The monkeys have each have a phone, Google Map. It's all because of our inability, material inability. Sampati went up on top. He is Google himself. Much, much more than. He said that there it is. And he came back and told there, look this. Very easy. So, service to the Supreme Lord. That is our constitutional position. Jivere Swarupa hoy Krishnere Nitya Das. That all of our constitutional position, our dharma, intrinsic quality, of every human being is that he is a servant of the Supreme. That tendency is there. It can very fast come out. And every opportunity we see, we get, we must immediately utilize it. And then our real nature will blossom. The more we engage in service of the Lord, the more our real nature comes out, the more you get to know who you are, and you will be in touch with who you are. We have lost our identity. We don't know who we are. We're hanging around here without actually being in touch with ourselves, in touch with the Supreme Lord Krishna, in touch with the world around. We are only very much absorbed in the illusion of the world. We're very absorbed in the golden deer, Maricha. It's not really a golden deer because there's nothing like a golden deer. And it's just meant to divert you and take you away. And everybody is in the golden deer syndrome. Everybody is lost in illusion, chasing the wrong things. But the reality is you don't know who you are, and you can get to know who you are. If you stop chasing the golden deer and start serving, that's what all these great devotees were doing. They didn't bother about the golden deer. Hanuman didn't bother about anything but service to Ramachandra. And therefore he was in touch with himself fully. And he knew, I am a servant all the time. I'm, serving and I enjoy it. I'm in touch with Rama and I shall do my service to him consistently all the time. So Hanuman was always situated on the highest platform of spiritual life. He was constantly thinking of serving the Supreme Lord. See? So we can understand these amazing lessons from Ramayana, which help us to go deep into ourselves and understand, what should I do? Why am I here? Who am I? What is the meaning and purpose of life? How to actually spend my time? These are all questions you will understand only if you do a very, very scrutinizing reading of the Bhagavad Gita, of the Bhagavatam, of the Ramayana, of the Mahabharata. And you should do that in the association of devotees. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katah tajjoshanat asva apavargavartmani shraddha bhavati bhakti anukramashyati. Krama. If you do that, satam prasangan mama virya samvido. Satam means devotees. Prasangan means in association. Mama virya samvida. My wonderful pastimes and activities are discussed in the association of devotees. Bhavanti hrit karna rasayana kata. Your karna, ears, rasayana kata, very juicy, enjoyable stories, pastimes of the Lord. Katayantas chamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. My devotees enjoy hearing about my wonderful pastimes and leela. Right? Krit karna rasayana kataha tad doshanad asva apavargavartmani. Because of hearing that, your real identity rises up. You cross the ocean of nescience. Shraddha bhavati anukramashyati. Bhakti sprouts in the heart, and you get to know exactly the reality as who you are. These things happen to you. They are scientific. If you hear Krishna's stories, if you hear Lord Ramachandra's pastimes, if you hear the Bhagavad Gita and the association and discuss it, you will see that your heart is getting purified. You will see something different is happening to you. Very deep, very satisfying, very happy it makes you from deep inside. Other pleasures are all on the surface, superficially. They come and go. They come and go. And they always keep you occupied. In the material world, we get occupied with so many silly things all the time. And if you don't have any silly things to occupy yourself, your senses will give you some occupation. Let's enjoy that. Let's enjoy this. So we all live in the periphery, superficially, completely busy. See, that's why Bhagavad Gita says that Ihi samparshaja boga dukkayonaya evate adyantavantahi kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Buddha, intelligent people don't engage in this type of frivolous, small time stuff. They go for the real, deep, internal, solid uh, business of myself, who I am, and who the Supreme Lord is. And I start doing the deep stuff of relationship with Him, serving Him. This is very deep. When you start doing that, all these frivolous small things fly away. And that becomes the most important thing because it's exciting to the soul. It's very absorbing to the soul. So in Ramayana, you will see those who fritter away their time, like Ravana and all his followers, wasting their time in material sport and sense gratification. They get destroyed in the end because everything they do is temporary. There's a beginning and the end. Adiyantavantahi kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. So intelligent people don't take part in that. They spend their time and invest it in the deep stuff, the real stuff, which as a spirit soul you're supposed to do as a human being. And you do it. And you get good mileage. And your life becomes purposeful, meaningful, and deep. And you have a rich experience and consciousness, reviving your consciousness. So these are not things I am saying. This is as mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam. Jatayu did that. What's the use of simply hanging around and eating, mating, sleeping, defending, and sitting on the tree? Here is a chance to do the real stuff. I swoop down and I give my life for it, does not matter. What is life anyway? I am not this body. I continue to exist beyond my body. I served Ramachandra and I'll continue to serve him beyond. These are very high ideals. And these are real things that people are doing. So devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that's the essence. And in Ramayana, you will see all of them absorbed in it. Bharata is totally absorbed. He is like Jatayu. He's in a materially very bad situation. He has accepted it voluntarily. Voluntarily accepted it. He went right up to the forest. Everybody is talking bad about him. You and your mom, you threw him to the forest. You and your mother intrigued. You did conspiracy, politics, and you threw Ramachandra to the forest and you're trying to take the throne. But no, that's not my plan. So he fought all this negativity. Everybody was asking him that. Guhan was asking. Kaushalya said, so you're happy now you got the kingdom, but I'm not without my son. My husband has also left me. Then he said, please don't tell me that. I didn't take part in it. And then when he took the whole troop, the army and everything to the forest to meet with Rama, he met with that, forest chief Guhan. Guhan also said, I'm very respectful to you, you're the king, but I want to ask you, what's your plan? Are you trying to wage a war against Rama? Are you going for that? I said, how can you think like this? Rama is my brother. He's my father also now. I don't have a father. I'm going there to tell him to come back. I am not the ruler. I don't have the capacity to rule Ayodhya. And okay, thank you very much. I just thought I should ask you. So he had so much of negativity. And he went to Bharadwaj Muni's ashram, there also he said, so you're planning to rule. You're going to Rama to sort out some things. There also. And then finally, when he met with Rama, Rama refused. And he said, no, you only have to rule. You give me your shoes will be there. You are the ruler. I am not the ruler. But I'll do all the things that you need me to do in your absence in Ayodhya. I'm a titleless king. Thankless job. I will do everything. I don't want the title. I don't want to be known as the king. And because you're in this forest wearing bark and matted locks of hair, I will also do that. Not only that,
I will actually live like you. How is that? Throughout the 14 years, Bharata, he ate only barley soaked in cow urine. That was lunch, breakfast, dinner. If you wanted a drink, it was cow urine. If you want anything solid, it was barley soaked in cow urine. Only that for 14 years. And then he slept on the floor because my brother is sleeping on the floor in the forest. And he said, no, I should not sleep on the same level like him. He dug a pit in the ground and slept in the pit. I should sleep at a lower level than my brother. He was so conscious of his service to Lord Rama. And he was totally absorbed in that. And he was very happy. For 14 years, he could do that. This is absorption. And no title. He's not sitting and enjoying. He stayed away from Ayodhya, went to Nandigram, made a small hut, and nobody disturbed me. Ministers can come in the morning every day, whatever needs to discuss the whole day, and you can go. I'll be here only. I want no opulence. I want no enjoyment of any facility. I don't want anything. Simply, I will serve. So Ramayana is filled with fantastic spirit souls who have accepted service and getting so much great pleasure out of serving the Supreme. So these instances that I mentioned here, Jatayu's instance, we shouldn't take it to be something small. We can learn a lot of important lessons in devotional service. We can learn a lot of important lessons about what to do with our life and why we should do it, and how we should not fritter away and waste our life in useless material pursuit alone. Life is very important. Human life is very important. So these are some lessons that we can learn. Today, since I've been asked to speak about Ramayana, I was not expecting to speak on Ramayana. Om Tarsat, Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nittai Gaura Premanande. Any question or comment anybody has? Any question or comment? Don't ask me about the roots of Jatayu and where do they come from and how they were born to. I don't remember the stories. Vinata and Kadru. Any question or comment? Yeah. Well, this is Mahalila, Madhavi, Devi Dasi, or Mahalakshmi. Well, thank you for the question. It's a practical question. I think I'll just repeat the question and paraphrase for others who didn't get it. Question is, in our present stage of material responsibilities that we have responsibilities so much and we cannot adjust ourselves, balance our spiritual life with our material life, etc. How can we do that is a question. Practical question. Yes, we should examine those responsibilities. We should examine those responsibilities. And we should know, we should execute value-based responsibility. Sometimes we impose a responsibility on ourselves. And I have to do that, I have to do that. We don't have to do that. It's not what the moving, earth-shaking, urgent thing for you to do. But sometimes, mostly, if you look at your responsibilities, you can make a good strategic audit of it. I don't need to do this. This I can keep away from. If I'm the association president of the housing colony in so-and-so place, and it came upon me about 5 years back because I had a flat there, and I'm continuing to go for the meetings. Sometimes we just do it. Hey, I'm president, I have to go. But you don't stay there anymore, by the way. And you don't have to do this. But what will people think? Let them think what they think. It doesn't matter. And when you really analyze, you say, yeah, actually, it doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm doing this. You'll find out that many things you're doing without actually really giving it proper consideration. So we can do an audit on so-called responsibilities we have, whether we need to do what we're doing, whether it is the most important thing to do, whether we need to, not do our real responsibility of becoming spiritually elevated and our edification spiritually. At the cost of that, should we do something else? This we can do. We can actually study various things we're doing. Where does your value lie? What do you value most? It's difficult to instantly value what Bhagavatam has said. Therefore, immediately I'm doing that. It's difficult. It'll take time because we have our hands and legs inside the pie, very deeply entrenched. And to pull it out takes quite some time. So to be practical, we start doing in a small way. And then slowly we build it up. And as our value increases, slowly, you know that those things of lesser value to me and lesser purpose, you can clip it off. You can trim it. And you know for sure I have to do this. I have to look after my child. I have to attend to my parents. I need to look after my husband's requirements or my wife's and my children and my whatever. I need to do my job because it's my roti kapda makan. Beyond this, other things, let me trim it. And let me add my devotional service, my spiritual life into it and put it together. Sometimes we need a little counseling to do that and a proper understanding. That's why we accept Guru, an instructor, and along with him, we can jointly do an audit. And for each one, it's not the same. You can start from what is possible. And if you diligently do that, gradually Krishna expands the space for you to do more and trim the other things. So that's my response to your question. Anybody else? Yeah. You have to be loud so that everybody can hear. We all hear so many. But when we want yes, the thing is set up like that there is high philosophy, high ground, and there's a lot of interesting information from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad. Questions that scientists are asking, philosophers are asking, thinking people are asking for centuries, ages, very clearly answered. So it's great philosophy. When you read it and when you understand it, when you sort it out intelligently with your mind and your intelligence, it makes sense. You get knowledge. But learning to implement them takes a little more time. You can't foolishly go and poof, immediately implement it. It will not work so easily. That will take time. Implementation means you have to understand it very well, and you have to take the advice of Guru, spiritual master, and then along with him, learn how to implement it. Implementation and practice of philosophy, Prabhupada said, is greater than philosophy. He said philosophy is great, but greater than philosophy is the practice of philosophy. So Prabhupada was a very practical person. He didn't write lofty things and leave for us to practice it. He practiced and showed it. He actually lived it and showed. If you look at his life, if you read his life history, you'll see that every lofty philosophy that he wrote about, he had realizations about it. That's why he's able to write it, because he does it, he realizes it, and he writes it. And he goes in that. And if you see him, you will see that this man is doing it. He's able to do it. At least I know that this is not some theoretical stuff. It can be done because this one person is practicing. He's practicing and he's doing it. At least that much. I may not be able to immediately do it, but I know for sure it's possible to do it because I see a proof of that in front of me. That way, if you study Prabhupada's life history, you'll know it is not that simply knowledge he gave. He gave also the practice of it, and he saw how it is possible to do it. We may fall short of it, and that makes us feel a little morose. And that is a great impetus for you to do it nicely. All these are parts of growing up. You don't have to think that, everybody, as soon as they get to know, boom, they have been able to do 100% of it. It's never been like that. Sadhaka, sadhana, you start doing, practicing, and you may have some challenges. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You have knowledge and you know it's doable, and therefore you will also reach there sometime. I get admission into the medical college here, the engineering college here. I don't know anything about engineering. I got no. Don't worry, you're going to learn. There are other people like you, and there are people passing out, and there are people who get jobs, and they practice their engineering. They come back and give sessions to you, being part of the alumni, and so it becomes a convincing thing, and you develop that conviction that I will also one day pass, become an engineer, practice it, and then I will also be able to actually live a realistic life. So these things are possible, they are doable. Right now we are on the platform of knowledge. Very good. Slowly, slowly start practicing the knowledge. You can chant Hare Krishna. You can worship the Lord. You can speak these things to others. You can do many of these parts of Bhakti Yoga, and gradually you'll also have realizations about it. Don't be overwhelmed by all the information you have. It's not that all the information you have should immediately become realization. It will not. It will become realization only when you start performing devotional service and it becomes actualized. The knowledge becomes a realization. Adhau shadda tata sadhu sangha ata bhajana kriya anartha nivritti sya. There are gradual stages mentioned. Sadhakanam ayam premnah pradur bhave bhavet krama. Kramena, gradually, from Shraddha, from a little faith, Sadhu Sangha. Next, because of faith, you like to move around with people who are doing the same thing. Sadhu Sangha means association of such persons. Then you involve in things that they also do. The sadhana starts, right? And then gradually you see, wow, things are happening. I'm getting purified. I'm getting a little clean. And then you will see those landmarks coming. Right? So right now, gathering knowledge and doing a little simplified version of it is all that we can do. Don't have to get affected by anxiety that something is happening here and I'm not able to be part of it. No, you can be part of it. Okay, any other question? Om Tat Sat Hare Krishna Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Nittai Guru Premanande.